Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. I'm going to make this one quick. Making dinner soon. It's going to be a cheesesteak for those of you that are wondering. I know you are. And we're going to A, look at how much I made today selling options. And B, we're going to answer a question I saw on a different YouTuber's channel that talks about selling options as well. They're way bigger than me. But someone commented that they didn't see selling puts as worth it. I'm going to tell you my honest opinion on it. You might already know my honest opinion, but if not, stay tuned. And if you like this kind of content, consider subscribing. I've been documenting me trying to sell some options for some extra income and be completely transparent with you guys on this channel. And if you also want to help out the channel and learn more about selling options on your own, see if it's right for you, there is a course. I linked it down below. I made it pretty affordable. You can make your money back pretty easily if you decide to sell your own options in the future. But if we hop over to Robinhood, you can see the portfolio value has increased quite significantly. And that's because of two reasons. One, stocks have continued to rise, kind of contrary to where I thought they would go. I thought at the beginning of the week, a lot of stocks were tanking, and that was not the case. And then two, I actually added some more money into this account. And I'm going to plan to add more along the way. I have a small portfolio, or I had a small portfolio on SoFi, and I just had a reoccurring investment into an index fund on there. And I had about 20K or so. I just ended up liquidating that. And I think slowly I'm going to put some of it just in my savings account, just to set it aside. And then some of it I'm also moving to this portfolio. So long story short, there's going to be more to come to this portfolio as well. But we've also gained a decent amount in just capital appreciation. For one, SoFi stock has gone well over $15.50. It's now sitting close to $16 a share. So that's to thank for a lot of what we're seeing. And same with Robinhood. However, this goes to show one of the risks when it comes to selling options. So this can help you answer the question, is selling options worth it? Now we're going to look more specifically at selling puts because that's what the comment was about on the other person's channel. But selling options as a whole, this is one of the risks when you sell covered calls on the stock. If it shoots up, 7.41%, as we're seeing here on Robinhood, I've sold some Robinhood calls, one at $77. And if we take a look at it, it's pretty deep in the money. We can see just today alone, it has increased in value, which you don't want when you sell options, by the way. It's increased in value $378, and it's because Robinhood's sitting at $82, and this is a $77 call. So this is one of the downsides when it comes to selling options. But I'll tell you one of the upsides when it comes to selling options is I don't have to sell it at $77 come expiration if I don't want to. If I want to, instead, I can look at rolling this position. I've talked about this over and over again. I'm sure a lot of other people have talked about it, and you've probably heard them say it. But rolling is what makes selling options super flexible. It gives you optionality, which is a funny thing to say about selling options. But if I wanted to, I can go out another week and I can look at a $78 call option, go up $100 in strike price, gain $17 in credit. So $17 is going to hit my account. And then if this still remains in the money, and let's say I let it exercise next Friday, I made an extra $100 in capital appreciation in this 1 week of added time because the strike price went from 77 to 78. So it's not all doom and gloom. And by the way, Robinhood, between now and Friday could end up going back down if something happens. You never know. It's been very volatile lately. But you do have those different options when it comes to selling options, which is a little confusing to say. But another thing I like about selling options is if we look at my web app that I'm currently developing to help me keep track of how much I'm actually making selling options, because it's actually pretty tricky when you make today, as you can see, 17 trades in one day. It's kind of hard to keep track of all of these trades. Another thing I like is today I made $422, and this was income that hit my account, and I can buy more shares of some of my favorite ticker symbols like SoFi and Robinhood, and even took a chance today on a ticker that went down pretty dramatically yesterday. So it is a riskier play. I sold a put on HIMS, and I made almost $54 selling that put. And that kind of segues us into the conversation of, is selling options worth it? And as a blanket statement, it's not really that easy to answer. I can't say it's worth it for everyone. One, you shouldn't be taking advice from me anyway. But my personal opinion is, I don't know. Is investing in real estate worth it? Because the comment that I saw, they were claiming that selling puts is very capital intensive, which it can be, and it ties up a lot of money. They don't see the return you get is worth it. And that's, based on a few things. One, are you using your own cash as collateral, or are you using margin? Because a lot of the time when people sell puts, they use margin for better or for worse. So you're not actually using your own money as collateral. But the caveat is, if those become assigned to you in the future, you should have that money lined up if you have to transfer it, because you don't want to start paying interest on that margin. But nonetheless, a lot of people do use margin, including myself, when it comes to selling puts, because they don't want to tie up their own cash as collateral. And then two, how risky are you with the puts that you sell? The more risk, the more reward in terms of premium that you get from selling puts. If I sell a put that's way, way, way out of the money, I'm not going to get as much premium as one that is closer to being in the money, right? If I sell a $12 put that expires this Friday on SoFi, am I going to make as much in premium as a $15.50 put? No. So there's a lot of variables that come into play if it's actually worth it for you. And different tickers are more volatile than others, and you're going to make more premium because of that implied volatility. So there's all these different factors. You can compare it to other investments, and maybe some make more sense for you than others. Like I mentioned before, real estate. Real estate's really capital intensive. But does that mean people don't get wealthy investing in real estate? Of course not. I've seen a lot of wealthy people that invest in real estate. So it really just comes down to, what do you prefer? I personally like selling options. And what's intrigued me is that flexibility. I get to choose the risk. I get to choose the reward. And if things come up that I don't foresee and don't always go my way, I have that option, like we showed earlier, to roll it and potentially make even more money doing so. So that's what I think about when it comes to selling options. It's probably not for everyone. I get it. But so far for me, I've enjoyed it. I think it's really cool, and maybe it'll bite me someday, and it already has in some instances, and you just learn from it. Like any investment, it can bite you. And you just learn from those things, and you get better over time. You evolve. So thank you so much for even listening to me ramble on about that. I thought it was an interesting question, though, because, people are probably wondering, is it actually worth it? And the answer is pretty nuanced. But I'm going to go head over and make this cheesesteak. Hopefully it's really good. Hopefully you're having something good for dinner, too, or whenever you're watching this. And I hope to see you in a future video. Stay tuned for this web app. I'm going to release it soon. I have all these things I'm trying to correct and some bugs and stuff. You know what app development goes. So anyway, hope to see you in a future video, and take care.